Author's statement of clarity and discernment. As I continue to record and reflect on the dreams of my life, I do so with humility and with a commitment to remain grounded in Scripture and sound understanding. I recognize that dreams involving war, destruction, or frightening imagery can stir deep emotions, especially when they involve places and people I love. I also understand that not every disturbing dream is a prophecy or a prediction. Many dreams reflect personal fears, concerns, or inner struggles. As it is written in Ecclesiastes chapter 5 verse 3, "For a dream cometh through the multitude of business." Therefore I approach this dream carefully, seeking discernment rather than reacting in fear, trusting the wisdom of God to guide my thoughts. Introduction to the series entry. This next dream stands out to me because it involved my born city of Chicago and because it carried strong emotional weight. Unlike other dreams that were symbolic or peaceful, this one felt alarming and urgent. I awakened inside the dream itself to a scene of attack and chaos. Because of the love I have for Chicago and for America, this dream troubled me deeply and caused me to feel that I truly need to discern its meaning. In this entry I will examine the details of what I saw and explore possible spiritual and emotional reasons behind it. Full discernment narrative. In this dream I suddenly awakened within the dream to find my born city of Chicago under attack from above. Everything around me felt fuzzy and unclear, as dreams often do, yet one part of the scene was unmistakably vivid. I could clearly see what was attacking the city and who was behind it. Above Chicago I saw stealth bomber jets dropping bombs, and on those jets was the emblem of the American flag. The sight shocked me. The idea that America would be attacking one of its own cities disturbed me deeply. Even within the dream I felt confusion and sadness, because I love my born city of Chicago and I love America. When I finally awakened in real life, the images stayed with me, and I felt a strong need to understand what this dream might mean. As I reflect on it now, I realize that dreams of war and attack do not always point to physical events. Very often they symbolize inner conflict, fear, or concern about the condition of a place or a nation. Chicago represents my roots, my childhood, and a part of my identity. Seeing it under attack could symbolize my worry about the struggles, violence, and difficulties that I know exist there in real life. The fact that the attack came from American planes rather than from a foreign enemy may be especially significant. This could represent the feeling that sometimes the greatest harm to a nation or a city comes not from outsiders, but from internal problems, wrong decisions, corruption, or division. Jesus himself said in Mark chapter 3 verse 24, "And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand." The dream may have been reflecting my awareness that a nation can be wounded by its own actions. I also consider that this dream might have been expressing a deeper emotional conflict within me. Chicago is part of my past, and America is part of my identity. Seeing one attacking the other could symbolize times in my life when I felt torn between love and disappointment, hope and frustration, pride and concern. Dreams often dramatize feelings that are difficult to express in ordinary words. Another layer of discernment is spiritual rather than political. Cities in Scripture often represent people, cultures, and spiritual conditions. An attack from above could symbolize spiritual warfare, unseen battles that affect real communities. Ephesians chapter 6 verse 12 reminds me, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world." The dream may have been showing me, in symbolic form, that the struggles of a city are not only physical but spiritual as well. I also noticed that I awakened inside the dream. This detail feels important. It suggests becoming aware, realizing something, or having my eyes opened to a reality I had not fully considered before. Perhaps this dream marked a moment in my life when I began to see more clearly that the world around me is complex and often troubled, and that discernment is necessary. Because the images were fuzzy except for the bombers, I sensed that the dream was not meant to give me specific information about real events, but rather to impress upon me an emotional and spiritual truth. It may have been calling me to pray for my city and my nation rather than to fear for them. 1 Timothy chapter 2 verses 1 and 2 instructs me, "I exhort therefore, that, first of all, supplications, prayers, intercessions, and giving of thanks, be made for all men, for kings, and for all that are in authority." Instead of viewing this dream as a prediction, I believe it is wiser to see it as a reflection of concern and love. Because I care deeply about Chicago and America, my heart and mind may have expressed that care through dramatic imagery. Love for a place often brings with it worry about its future and well-being. In the end, this dream reminds me that even when the world looks chaotic and frightening, my trust must remain in God. Psalm chapter 46 verses 1 and 2 says, "God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in trouble. Therefore will not we fear, though the earth be removed, and though the mountains be carried into the midst of the sea." No matter what I see in dreams or in life, I can rest in the sovereignty of the Lord. Rather than causing me to panic, this dream ultimately calls me to prayer, discernment, and faith. My love for my born city of Chicago and for America is real, and that love can be expressed not through fear, but through hope and intercession.